Hey everyone, Jeremy here for Geeks of the Roundtable, and we're back with another video on DC Universe Online. And in today's video, we're going to talk about our first impressions. Again, kind of an old player, came back into it, and it feels like a new game. So we're going to get into it. I'm here with Megan, and that's coming up. Megan, you've been playing now. You subbed before I did.
You subbed. You said you weren't going to, and you did.
I did, and I don't regret it. There's a lot of content. So when we left, it was around that T6 mark, and there's so much more to do now that I feel it really is a new game. Recently, we did a video highlighting, is this game worth playing in 2019? And I'm gonna throw the card up above. So when you log back in, what are your first impressions? How does it play to you?
Well, it plays nice and smooth. I like that because it makes it nice and easy and enjoyable to play. I like that there is a lot of new content. So I'm not going on and doing the same old stuff that I was doing day in, day out when I was playing. So I go in, I do my daily stuff, which is Atlantis and Earth 3.
Are you having a hard time queuing for stuff?
Of the events, no, they don't take long to queue for the new events.
So how much of the new, so not new content, but how much of the, I guess it would be old content now for current players, but how much of it is new content for us, that's old content for current players, are you able to queue for fast?
All of it.
All of it. I know, that's what I found too. So it's an old game. The game's 8 years old, but we're getting into everything.
Yes.
And just by queuing, not even looking for group, obviously it's the top tier stuff, but queuing up, we're getting into everything.
Yeah, and I've only had one group that made one of the alerts a struggle, but that was because I was the only one healing. We had DPS that didn't really know what they were doing and no tank, so I was constantly dying because I was getting all the aggro.
Have you noticed a difference in your gameplay? Because, and I'm just gonna be straight up, since we left, which was around that T6 mark, now we're into game update, I couldn't even tell you. I mean, the armor's into T9 or something like that.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Have you noticed a difference in the way that your powers are? Because they revamped everything.
I don't really notice a difference because I've only ever really played with nature, but I love nature. I love playing with nature. I find it very fun to play with.
Yeah, you always did. I can tell you, mental was not totally different. The DPS side of it was very different, and I found it confusing. When we left the game, mental was very much a DOT, AoE style power. And because of that, the numbers were huge, right? But now I go back in and I find, no, it's burst damage. It's not the same. I'm trying to look, the power interactions now really matter to DPS. It mattered back in the day, but now it really matters. So they've taken the mechanics that they tried to implement, and it seems like they've really implemented them now. Supercharges mean something.
That's one thing I don't find in my healer works all that well. My regen, I don't find it actually heals.
Have you actually done any looking into how it works now?
Not yet, no, because I don't get a chance to play that often, and when I do, I want to try to get my daily stuff.
Yeah. And this is why
there's so much daily stuff to do that I don't have enough time to get it all done. There's that much, so I have to pick and choose what I want to do.
And this is why it's a first impressions again. We're returning players, guys. We were high up there, and it's not the same game anymore. It's a whole new game, not gameplay, but what we knew doesn't apply.
No.
You know that with the power over time, the pots, it just casts automatically now. What do you think about the artifacts and augments? Oh man, I spent some time looking into that and starting to build them and stuff like that. I've
started to build them, but what they do, I'm just building them.
Well, it builds your stats, just like the mods did. Yes. But you know what? The mods, you would grind out these mods every single DLC that dropped, every new piece of gear. You're grinding out new mods. You know what? These augments, I like it. They streamlined everything, and you just build it as you go. There's no limit, and you just keep growing. So the stronger you get, the stronger your instances are, the better the rewards, and the better you can upgrade your augments. It grows with you, man. That's an improvement.
Yes.
Why didn't they come up with that, 8 years ago? The idea isn't exactly new. They do it in World of Warcraft.
Who knows? We might not have gone out of the game if they would have implemented this 4 years ago when we got out.
That's very possible. So overall, here we're gonna try and keep this one short. So overall, what are your impressions? Again,
I love all the new content.
I got to admit,
it's fun content. You can do it in a group. You can do it by yourself. You can go in and do a couple little things here and there if you only have a little bit of time. But I like that because I don't have a whole lot of time to play. So it's nice to be able to go in and do my Atlantis stuff if that's all I have time for, or go into Earth 3 and do that stuff. Queue for the event while you're doing your solo stuff.
You don't even have to wait though. I mean, I've queued in for some alerts, and I took some time building the character again, kind of deal. Just getting the new gear with the new, I got that CR 210 upgrade. I spent some time looking into it and then doing the artifact quests, but then I spent some serious time. I respec'd over to gadgets, going right back to the original here. We're going back to gadgets. And I spent time looking into artifacts and looking into the powers, trying to use the community to build that power up again, and then ran some alerts. And I gotta tell you, the alert was a lot of fun. I like that the power over time was always cast. And I think it's the same with healers. If there's certain powers loaded, just kind of there, and they really streamlined the game in my opinion.
Yes.
My first impressions, I know I was hesitant about buying it. Well, subbing for it, which is buying it. I did the 3 month. She's sitting here
I didn't know that. You were very hesitant on doing it for 1 month, and now you're subbed for 3.
I went to 3 because I feel, and I'll never get away from this, $20 a month for any game is a lot. But when you go for 3 months, you pay $40 for 3 months. So it just works out, and it gives me the time I need to make that real evaluation, look into the game again. I mean, 3 months compared to the 4 years I spent playing it. My first impressions are, I do not regret it. I was wrong at the end of this video. I'm going to admit I was wrong in the last video, and I have enjoyed my time back in DC Universe Online.
I called it when I started playing it again, even before I subbed. And you were kind of watching me play and, well, what's new? Where are you going? What are you doing? I had that suspicion that you were going to sub again with me if I subbed, and now you have.
I don't regret it, do you?
No, I don't regret it so far. But if I can play it, I enjoy it. Even if I get on for half an hour every couple of days or something, I don't regret it because that's half an hour of me time.
Right, and the thing I also find, this is my last point, replay badges aren't as relevant anymore because there's so much content for us to catch up on.
Yes.
Again, if you're a current player, you probably don't share that opinion, but for us coming back after a 2-year gap, this is a new game. Yeah. We've got years of content to catch up on, and it's fresh. The stories are great.
Yes.
I mean, there's League Halls and Dark Side and, kind of Aquaman is Aquaman. Come on. It's Aquaman. This isn't the new Aquaman. This is the old Aquaman.
This is the orange Aquaman.
Yeah, but I have enjoyed it.
Have you gotten any more CR yet? Have you bought any gear to get up to a higher CR?
I've been running the vault, and it actually bumped me 1 CR based off of the gear that I got. No, I haven't gotten anything out of the instances, but the vault did.
The vault did.
Used to be just styles. Now you got this.
Yeah, I'm up to 216 now because I've been doing that daily grind stuff to get the marks and the coins and everything to buy the gear. So I've been able to get up to 216 now just by doing the daily stuff.
All right, so let us know. What are your impressions if you're a returning player? Have you taken some time out of this game? Are you one of those beta launch players like us, and you come back and you have that real drive that, this feels fresh? Or are you one of them old, crusty players that just feels that the game is dying? And let us know in the comments below. And as always, thanks for watching Geeks of the Roundtable.